All right, everybody knows what time it is. It is time for the Wolfer Power Hour. Let me know in the comments section if the audio is good. I moved my mic. I have the Shure SM7B. I don't like having it right here in my face. Like it used to be like right here, and it's super annoying. Like when you're turning your head and like you have to like stay rigid in this one little spot and try to. You see what I'm saying? So I moved it, and as long as that is good to go, give me 1 second. Something just banged on my window. I guarantee you it's my kid that just smacked a soccer ball into my window. You got to give me a second. I apologize. And exactly what I thought it was is exactly what it was. A soccer ball hitting my window on my studio. Yeah. All right. In any case, I moved my mic. Hopefully it's still crispy. Hopefully it is, I don't know. Hopefully it's still good audio. In any case, we will test it. And yeah, it is spring break, Ryan. It is spring break. Oh, what a joy. What a joy. Time for school and pizza. All right. It seems like the audio is good to go. Partita says so. And Orange Man, good globalist, bad Godwins. We will never, ever lose the pizza. It is a focal point of our lives. Friday Pie Day, baby. With that being said, let's get into the trade that we were talking about yesterday, which was a short trade. Let's get into the key levels as they are right now, right? And let's talk about some altcoins too. Let's talk about some altcoins, see what's going on. With that being said, we are in a short trade right now. I believe we're basically break even. It's kind of frustrating, to be honest with you. But in any case, we're going to get into the charts and show you exactly what's going on. So we're basically break even on all trades right now, right? Like, we got this gold short that we're looking at. We entered at $29.95, right? And we're basically break even on it. $29.97 is where we're at. We're just riding up on this trend channel, man. This upward sloping trend channel, we're just riding the top of it. The good news is that we are in like kind of like a falling wedge pattern. Or a rising wedge pattern, sorry, my bad. Call it something like that. That's what it basically looks like. In any case, we're basically break even on this position. We're basically break even on this position too. Because where did I enter? I believe it was like 84 something, 84.2. Yeah. Look, I mean, yeah, we're break even on this $7,500 position, 10x leverage, 0.9 of a Bitcoin shorting at 84.2. So here's where we entered. Let me see if I actually have my short on here. I do not. Yep, right there. That's where we're at. 84.1 something. So we're down a couple bucks, essentially. You know, we're down 20 bucks, 50 bucks. It's capitulating. It's capitulating. It's doing its thing. Here's an interesting thing, okay? This is what we were talking about on Bitcoin yesterday. This 4-hour bear flag. The bear flag it's 100% formed, and it's a confirmed bear flag. I mean, that's very, very cut and dry, right? It's a very cut and dry bear flag, in my opinion, right? We also have a bear pennant, right? So we have a bear pennant, we have a bear flag on the 4-hour chart, right? And then we also have a descending triangle, right? Well, we had a descending triangle. We don't anymore, I don't believe. No, we still technically kind of do. And I'll show you what that looks like. There's a lot of bearish formations right now. So we also have a descending triangle, right? So if we don't break above, as I was talking about yesterday, 86.3, and I believe yesterday was 85. No, it was 86.3. If we don't break above 86.3, like it's going to be hard to get outside of this, right? Let me see if I have it. And then we've got our double top here, right? We've got our double top. So let's get this off of the screen. Bear fliggity, bear flag, get the short position off. We've got a double top here. That's very clear to see, right? Double top. We could triple top here at 84.8, right? In any case, we also have a potential bear flag happening here too, right? It tried to bull flag here, but then it broke down, okay? Tried to bull flag, boom, broke down out of it, trying to form a small bear flag here. Now, here's the other thing that I want people to look at what is going on the chart right now, okay? Let's just zoom in. Does anybody see any charting pattern, a bullish one, okay, that is potentially forming, right? So here's the first 4, right? Key bullish charting patterns. Here's the next 2, right? Here's the next 4, right? Just take a look at them. And then do we see any of these on this chart right now? In my opinion, there's a case to be made for something like that, right? There's a case that can be made for that, okay? It is upward sloping too. It is upward sloping. Is it very uniform? No, it's not the best inverted head and shoulders you're ever going to see, right? This is what it should look like, right? It's looking good. It's pretty uniform for the most part, but this first shoulder isn't really that uniform, right? So could this break out? I mean, yeah, absolutely it could. You know, is it going to? Is it likely to? I don't know. But if it does, guess what it does? Takes us back up to the 93K range, right? Which is getting us above that 100 moving average. Now you got to break through 85.6 in order to be able to do that. And the longer this capitulates like this, the more likely it is to break down and nullify this entire charting pattern, right? So think about that, right? Also, understand that this pattern, this little itty bitty pattern, is also happening inside of a much larger bearish pattern that tends to break down, right? And that bearish pattern has a price target of like $61K. I would say 65 is the bottom on that. And then if you take into account the 1 hour and 4 hour, 1 day and 4 hour bear flag, that's a larger charting pattern than this inverted head and shoulders. You've got a price target on that of about $71,000, right? Now, my short is in and my take profit is at 74K. And the reason is because I'm going to take this level by level. Even once we get down here to 78, I'm going to be eyeing at a take profit position, right? Once we get down here past this swing low, that's where I'll start thinking about 74K, right? And then I'll start looking at 71 and potentially 68, right? Do I think we're going to come all the way down here to 65? Not necessarily. Not necessarily. Let me see. I want to get this off of here. This is for our this is our descending triangle. Okay, let's get this off of here. Let's now get this off of here. Let's put this inverted head and shoulders on here. Inverted head and shoulders. We can take that off now. And then let's move this bear flag up here. And then let's look at the Fibonacci. And again, let me know if my audio is good. We are still getting rejected here consistently at this 0.236 fib, right? Now, the one thing I will say is the more that you, let me take my magnet tool off really quick. The more that you, after you break it, right? Because we broke it here, right? And then we bounced back above it. and we tried to break it here. We came back in, we broke it here, and then we banged up on it right there, right there, right there, right there, right there, and we're trying to do it again right now. The more you bang up on a level like this, the more likely it is to break up. But what you also have to take into account is the resistances that are in your path, right? You've got your 100 moving average, you've got your 0.236, then you've got your 0.382 and your 200 moving average that will intersect that, right? Yeah. Oh, you're in a short at 80 grand? So you're upside down on that short right now is what you're saying, basically? It needs to go down. Yeah, I mean, let's look at the RSI. Let's see if the oscillators are oscillating. So yeah, we've got the stochastics. You're outside of oversold or overbought territory right now as it sits. You do have a signal line crossover on the RSI. Are we setting higher highs? Are we setting higher lows while we're setting higher highs on the chart? Yeah, so there's no like hidden bullish divvy there. Not right this second, at least. No hidden bear div. No full-on bear div. Let's see. Higher lows. Technically, no higher highs there. I mean, there's not much to write home about right here. Like, we're in just range trading right now, and it just keeps capitulating in between, you know. Now, is this a little frustrating for me? Yes, it is. Why? Why is this frustrating, Drew? Because I entered my first short here, right? I believe. And it went all the way down. No, I didn't even enter there. I entered way back here. I think I started entering... No, I did. So this is why this is a little bit frustrating to me. It came down here. I could have taken profits. I could have literally re-entered the short. I could have taken profits. I could have literally re-entered the short. I could have taken profits. And then I could still be in that short. I could have already taken 3 profitable trades here from a scalp trading perspective, which is a little bit frustrating because at one point, I mean, even yesterday on the stream, I think this thing was at like 82 something and my profit was like $1,000 or something. Now, obviously my profit is much higher if it goes to where I think it's going, 9K. Is it going to go there to 74 and make me $9,000? I don't know yet. I need to see what the charts are saying. Do we get a rejection here and go all the way back down? As it sits right now, there's nothing that's saying like guaranteed rejection, right? Yeah, I mean, your RSI is trending down while price is trending down. Yeah, I mean, there's not much here to write home about. Like I said, that's on the 4-hour chart. Let's look at the 1-hour chart and see what's happening there. This is where it starts to get a little interesting. Starting to get overbought on the Stokes. Starting to curl back down on the RSI. Set a lower high on the RSI. Did we set a higher high in the same? No, basically the same high. Yeah, I mean, there's no bearish divergence here. There could be a hidden bull div, right? Are we setting lower lows here? Or not even a hidden bull div? Well, there was a bull div right here, and that might be what brought us here to make this play out. But overarching perspective, there's still downside potential here. What's market cipher B saying? Yeah, money flows in the red. You do have a green dot. You're setting a higher momentum wave. That's good news for bullish price action. You're setting lower momentum or lower lows on the momentum waves on the underside. I mean, yeah, I would just be careful here. I mean, once this starts to overheat, it's gonna go down, right? And the first logical level is right here at about the $82,000 range, right? So if we get a little bit further into the weeds, I might be able to extrapolate some real data from this. But I mean, let's look at what the inverted head and shoulders looks like on the 1-hour chart. It looks like it just got clean rejected, in my opinion, right? And now it's just trending downwards and setting lower lows, lower high, lower low, lower high, potentially coming down here to a lower low for your micro market structure. Now, market structure comes in two forms. There's internal market structure, and then there's external market structure, right? So this is, well, we'll zoom out even further. This is kind of your like real market structure, and this is like an internal market structure inside of the larger market structure. And those internal market structures are going to be the things that tell you where the move could be potentially happening coming up, right? But in any case, it looks like a rejection, in my opinion, from here. Boom, right? Now, you did try to get a little WV pattern here, which has not yet played out. There's your W, right? And it tried to play out, but it could be getting a rejection, right? So here's your W. But this is a really horrible WV pattern, right? Because these are equal highs, so I don't like that as much. Yeah, I mean, that's a... I mean, it looks like it's trending downwards, is my point. At the very least, you have a megaphone pattern, right? A bullish megaphone. And the price target on that, I mean, there's a couple of different ways that you could play this, right? If you get a breakout, again, you could be seeing it come up here to about the 88.5 range, right? Is that going to happen? I don't know yet. You could also make a claim that there's a cup and handle here, right? Right? And does that break up? Yet to be seen. Okay. But we can draw the cup and handle. Actually, let's just go ahead and draw it. Whoops. I'd probably call it this. Yeah, I mean, that's your cup and handle. Here's your target on that. It's a pretty substantial target, to be honest with you. Probably get us up to like 92, 93. Yeah, and about 91,000. Call it 91,000 on 75% of the measured move. That's a good formation, but you have to get the breakout, right? You have to break out probably above these levels right here, right? Probably right above 84.3. And then you need to get your confirmation candle above that as well, right? So let's call that 1 hour cup and handle. Okay. I mean, there's a lot of like smaller term bullish case scenarios for Bitcoin that could get us outside of this, right? So you've got this, right, on the 1 hour chart. Then you have this, right? Which is your bear flag, right? And then you have this as well. You're getting a rejection at the falling wedge that we were talking about that could potentially break out, okay? Now, if we can get above this level, 84.5, it's looking okay, right? It's looking like bullish nature. But if we don't, then you're looking at probably $75,000 Bitcoin, right? Because that's the bottom end of this wedge, right? And this is a massive, massive wedge. This will be your third touch point on that wedge too. 1, 2, third touch point. Now, once you get about your fifth touch point, that's where you're really, really favoring breakouts. Until you get up to that fifth touch point, it's kind of like 60% chance this breaks out. Fourth touch point, 70% chance. Fifth touch point, 80% chance, right? But in the same sense, you've got 1, 2, 3 touch points on this, and this would be your fourth touch point, has a higher probability of breaking down too. So just, take that into account. If you keep writing this down, you can even extend this out even further, right? So about here. So it's a pretty substantial falling wedge, in my opinion. And then we also have the bear pennant. The bear pennant. And again, you've broken outside of that. You have confirmed outside of that bear pennant, right? And this could be your retest of it to fall, right? And what's your target on that? Well, just take this, drag and drop from the breakdown point. And your target on this would be somewhere in the $71,000 range, right? Same as your target on the bull flag or the bear flag, okay? So, that's kind of what we're seeing. And, I'm just going to hold my short. I'm probably going to set my stop loss pretty tight once we break above these certain key levels, right? Where does this go? Give me a second. Now, I'm probably going to set my stop loss above these highs, potentially, like even this little range right over here. Nah, I'm not even going to let it go that far. I'm going to probably set it above these highs, 85.3, something like that, and we'll see what happens. But you are attempting a breakout of this, right? You are attempting a breakout of this wedge pattern, right? And I would say you can probably make this a little bit better of a wedge, somewhere in that realm. Boom. And you are attempting the breakout. You attempted it back here as well, right? But immediate rejection, topping tail candle, massive volume. You got massive volume on this candle. Tried to get above it, couldn't quite get there. You got an indecision doji right here. We'll see what happens. But in any case, I want to show you the weekly and the daily candle close, because I think those are going to tell us a lot, right? Okay. So this is our weekly candle close. This is a doji, right? This is an indecision candle, right? So even though it did close, right? Even if it did close green and bullish, doesn't necessarily mean that that's going to be bullish for the market in the coming weeks. Now, it did bounce from the 50. It front ran the 50. That's great. But there is a caveat to that, right? Because what this could be doing is forming a bear flag, right? So, that's just something to take into account. Price target, probably 65 grand, right? So I'm not saying it's forming a bear flag yet. I'm saying it could be, right? It could be forming the bear flag, which is right here. That's the bear flag. And what we know about those is those tend to break down, right? And they go down fast. So we're seeing a huge rounded top here. And really, to complete that rounded top, you would be coming down here to about $71,000, and at the least 73.6, which is the previous all-time high right here, right? 73.8, I believe, was the previous all-time high. So to complete that rounded top before you got this big pattern, and then you have to be careful there, because what you'll see if that rounded top does print is this, the potential for a cup and handle, right? Inverted cup and handle, where you could have massive, massive downside. And I'm not saying this is going to happen. I'm just saying these are the things that you need to watch out for when stuff like this is forming. So, that's taking you down to essentially like the 200 moving average at about $45,000. So that could be a huge move, right? And again, like I said, I'm not trying to freak anybody out. I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm saying these are the things you got to watch out when these things are happening. So we have an indecision doji that upheld the 50 moving average on slightly lower volume than the previous two sell-off weeks, right? This was called the hanging man. And usually whenever you see a hanging man, you're going to see a subsequent downtrend, right? I don't know if I have that in my... So this is the hanging man, right? That right there, that's the hanging man. That's a bearish candle. That's basically saying that, you know, you're going down from it, essentially, right? And that's what you saw right here. One of the biggest candles and the biggest volume candles of the subsequent weeks prior, right? So this is usually saying, hey, you've got further downside, and usually that further downside is going to be about double whatever that hanging man was. So call it this. Damn, 58, probably 61, I would say is the bottom on this. Not even, probably 63, 64. Because I never go with the full measured move because it never hits it. It always hits 75% of it. So I would say 75% of this, you're looking at 64 grand, something like that. Now let's go to the daily chart and I'll show you what happened on the daily as well. Same thing is essentially happening on the daily. Actually, I want to go back to the weekly and see what the oscillators are doing just really quickly. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, this is a bearish, textbook bearish divergence, I guarantee you, right? Higher highs on price, lower highs, boom, bearish divergence, right? Massive bearish divergence. That would hint at there's still further downside from here. Like if you look at this from here to here, and then you go down to the oscillators. Right? Massive, massive bearish divergence. Is this enough to satisfy that? Probably not. What you would have to do to nullify that and say this is no longer a bearish divergence is this would have to come up here and set a higher high, right, than this. So you would want to see this take out the high at about 80 right here, right? Take out this previous high, boom, no more bearish divergence, okay? Bearish divergence has been nullified at that point. Now you are bottoming out on the Stoke. Doesn't mean much though. Doesn't mean much because as many times as you can bottom out on the Stoke, you come right back in, right? Boom. Bam, right back in. Bottom out on the Stoke, boom, bam, right back in, right? This happens all the time, right? Bottomed out, tried to move up, boom, came right back in. So the same thing could happen here. You bottom out, boom, come right back in, right? Just like it did here, 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 right? I mean, like, plenty of times this has happened, okay? So just because the Stoke is bottomed out does not mean upside, okay? So you got to take that into account. Then if you look at Market Cipher B, you've still got your red dot and your money flow is leaving, right? Your green is your money flow. It's leaving. You've got VWAP crossed over to the downside. You've got momentum that has now crossed over to the downside. You get, this doesn't curl right here, right? As it sits right now, you're setting higher lows, right? On this. Low, higher low, another higher low if this reverses, right? But if this goes, it's no longer a higher low, right? So there's that. 1 day chart. Let's see what the oscillators is doing. Yeah, I mean, they're just in a consistent downtrend, in a downward trending channel, right? It's pretty clear and cut and dry to see. I mean, do you get a rejection here today or tomorrow and then come right back down here? It's possible, but if you can come up here and get above the 50 line, then it's bullish news, right? So that's another thing that you need to take into account. You've also lost the 200-day moving average. You're trying to regain it right now. 200-day moving average is at 84,107. You're trying to regain it right now. You lost it. So you lost it, you regained it barely. You lost it, you regained it barely for about 2 days. You lost it. You're trying to regain it today. You know, we'll see how that plays out. I don't know. You know, I'm going to continue holding my short until I figure that out, right? I need to see what's going on. But again, you know, look at what's happening on the charts, right? Definitely a bear flag, okay? Very easy to see. Very easy to see, okay? Definitely a falling wedge, okay? That could potentially break out, right? Definitely a bear pennant that is retesting the bottom end of that bear pennant right now, which if you know the way that I trade the break and retest, right? And essentially what I always say is, hey, wait until you get your confirmation candle out here, right? And then enter on the retest and boom, right? Now, this has not confirmed yet on the daily chart. It has confirmed on the 4-hour chart though. Has it? No, this has not confirmed yet on the 4-hour chart either. This bear pennant has not confirmed. Why? Because you have to close a candle below this low, which is your breakdown candle. You have not yet done that. So if you come up here and you get a rejection and then you come down here and you close a candle here, it's downside, okay? That would also get you outside of the bear flag, right? Outside of it. You would see it come out here, boom, bam, downside. So this is choppy, man. This is where you got to go down to the really small term charts, small time frames. See what the trend is telling you. Okay. Yeah, I mean, we've got this going for us, right? Now, if you break down below $84,000, it's bad news. Why? Because you're going to see you lost the 50, you lost the 100, and the 200 is going to keep trailing up in this. And if you lose this really, really high upward sloping, you know, trend line, probably coming back down here to these lows at about 82.4, right? And that's where you'll lose all of those moving averages. And look what happens when you lose all of those moving averages, right? Boom, usually big dump, right? Boom, usually a big dump, right? And then even further more than that, look what happens whenever you regain them with confidence. Like we lost them here, boom, big, massive dump, right? All the way down to 80K. We regained them with confidence and rode the 200 moving average up for quite a while from 79K all the way up to 85, right? Then you just kind of rode these moving averages for a really long time. Boom, dump, nice little pump, and it just keeps flipping it. Just keeps flipping it, right? So we just flipped all of these, turned them into a bullish formation. And what we really need to do is keep that bullish formation going, right? In order to continue moving upwards, right? So you're above the 50 moving average as it sits right now. But as soon as you lose it, next place you're going to go is right down here and then right down here. So if you see that start to reverse, that's not a good sign. Let's see what the oscillators are doing. Yeah, RSI, nothing to be super concerned about on the RSI at this point. Like, can it reverse here? Absolutely, 110% it can reverse. You've got your stochastic just leaving overbought territory. You've got a red dot on market cipher B. You've got money flow leaving, right? Green leaving. So my guess is we're probably going to roll over here soon and start losing these moving averages. We'll probably lose the $84,000 level and start to head down. One other thing that I wanted to kind of show people is on this 1 hour chart. If you look at what's really happening, right? Although we have reclaimed all of these moving averages, okay? Look what has happened to the moving average, right? So this is the 50. The blue line right here is the 50. It curled, it headed up, and now it's starting to curl back downwards. That's not good news, because if you come up here, you get a rejection, and then the 50 starts to curl down below the 100 And then below the 200, right? Those are death crosses. And that's saying, hey, there's potential downside coming here. So you really need to hold this 50 at about 83.5. So 84,000 and about 83.6 are going to be some key integral levels for you to be watching, at least on the 1 hour chart, right? Now for the 4 hour chart, that's more of a swing trading, you're going to need to reclaim this $85,000 level. 85.2 is where the 100 moving average is. And again, so long as you stay above 82.7, you're looking okay on the 4 hour chart comparatively, because that's where the 200 moving average is. Yeah, and I mean, that's where the 200 moving average is on the 1 hour chart too. That's crazy. No, that's where the 50 is. That's my bad. So yeah, I mean, 82.7, man. That's your kind of like must hold zone right now to keep us from going to 74K, right? Guamio says, great master TA class, man. I appreciate that. We've got Jason Horn. He says it's all good. The audio looks good. All right, great. Yeah, I do read the comments. I do read the comments. What it do? Varun M. Appreciate you. The spinning Drew bobblehead in the background. Yeah, that's my wife got that for me for my birthday. We got the baby Drew right over here. Boom. Whoop. It's funny. He's got big ass head, man. Blonde hair, braids, the whole nine. He's got a DW hoodie on, everything, dude. It's hilarious. I love it. And let's see who else we got in here. We got Adrian Kent, always here. Jason Horn says he needs it to go to 80,000 or less. Yeah. Yeah, like the video, everybody. Ask Sway if it's attempting a breakout, dude. 100%, dude.
How, Sway? You ain't got the answers, man.
Let's do some altcoin analysis. If you're here from Twitter, which it seems like 2/3 of you are here from Twitter, scroll up, hit the follow button. If you're here on YouTube, make sure you like the video. Make sure you hit subscribe. Boom, baby. Bang on the notification bell. Comment anything that you want in the relevant sections. Comment any altcoins that you want me to look at. We'll go ahead and do the usual suspects, though. Let's get into it. For all you Cardano lovers out there, see what's going to happen. Okay, so no trade yet on Cardano. I basically said, look, you got to break above this 0.382 level. You do have a bear flag forming. This is not necessarily what you want to see. Yeah, I mean, that bear flag's taking you 67 cents. That's not too terrible, to be honest with you. But your next level after that is 65 cents and 62.37 cents. Obviously, like, this thing doesn't look awesome. RSI is starting to get up there. It's not too close yet. It's still in the 50s. I don't think it's super concerning right this second, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, there's your long position. I mean, as it sits right now, I mean, if Bitcoin starts to dump, I would be shorting here, okay? Probably set my stop loss outside of that top. Previous swing high, right? You could even go a little bit further out if you wanted to. I don't necessarily know if I would do that, though. I'd probably set it here because if you break out, like you're already breaking out, you're reclaiming the 100, the 200, and the 50 moving average right here. I mean, Honestly, you might even long here if you get a, if Bitcoin starts to pump. This could be a potential where you would start longing, right? Or at the very least, you could schlong it, Do you want to whip out your schlong on, what is it, Monday? Do you want to whip out your schlong on a Monday? This is a good place to schlong, in my opinion, right? So, you place your stop loss below the lows, right? Be careful not to get stopped out, and get max pain scenario, but that's where you'd be targeting that. And you've got a 2.23, 2.5x risk to reward. It's a good schlonging opportunity right here at about 73, 74 cents. Okay. I mean, overarching perspective, it is starting to trend up, right? But you have a lower high and a higher low. You've got a high, a low, you've got a lower high and a higher low. It's like, it's indecision, man. It's indecision in the market right now. What's going on? Where's my Ricky Bobby? This is what everybody's doing right now.
Mr. Bobby, come on down here. Help me, Jesus. Help me, Jewish God. Help me, Allah. Ah! Help me, Tom Cruise.
Help me, Tom Cruise. With your crazy Scientology magic, man. Help me. Help me, please. We need to know what's going on, man. Stuff's going crazy. I'm losing money. Down like $200, man. Got to be able to afford my pizza. Gold's moving against me. Come on, man. What's going on? It's crazy. Cardano. Fun stuff. How do I get on here? Get your blue light glasses. Yeah, got screwed on a short if you took that short. But again, I mean, like I said, false signals, false flags, like everything's looking weird and crazy right now. Your fib was, if you get a rejection here, right? Let's see. Let's take this stuff off. Okay, so we had an obvious upward trending channel, right? This is actually a pretty good trade. Would you have even gotten an entry on this? No, probably not. This was for a fib level. Yeah, you broke through the fib level, confirmed above it. Yeah, you wouldn't have gotten your entry here. And you would have reclaimed the 200 moving average. Yeah, it's a good that's a good no trade there. You were forming kind of like a cup and handle though. If you look like, shoop, cup handy. But in any case, you formed this upward sloping trend channel, right? So this cup and handle ain't gonna play out. Actually, that's exactly what happened. Hey, you come down here to the 0.382, boom, you just start moving. This would have been your short level entry right here. Once you broke outside of this channel, back tested the 0.618, this is where you would have shorted to the 0.382. Pretty easy trade. I don't think we had that set up, unfortunately, but if you've been watching me for long enough, you knew that this is your trade. I don't think we had looked at XRP the other day. This was happening. Yeah, that'd been a 2.5 risk to reward. You would have gotten a nice little trade on that. You could have flipped long. We'll see what happens. But in any case, you have now broken outside of this channel, right? So this channel is now going to be resistance. It's going to be called a pivot point, right? So this is now going to be a resistance. If you're longing here from like the 0.382 or the 0.5, you're longing up to the 0.786 fib and even potentially further than that, all the way up here to $2.60, right? So if you're longing here, and again, don't go long if Bitcoin is going down. Do not long this if Bitcoin is going down. Do not short if Bitcoin is going up, okay? So that's your trade. That's your only trade that you have right now. Is if you come back and test this 0.5, you can re-enter one time right here and double down on your entry right there. And then you stop out if you go below the 0.382 or at the very least below these swing lows right here, which is right here, right? Low, boom. You got a 1.7 risk to reward on this. Would I take that trade? Probably not. I would wait to see what's going on with Bitcoin. If Bitcoin starts going down, that's where I'd start shorting XRP, right? If Bitcoin goes down, this is where I would say, okay, rejection of the 0.618. I'm now targeting the 0.236 on a short, okay? And I'll probably set my stop loss right outside the 0.786 for a 2-to-1 risk to reward. Like it, love it, hate it, don't care. That's the trade, right? You could even target all the way down to the full $1.99 area, $2 area, right? Which would give you an extremely good risk to reward. We're talking 3.3 to 1. So, we'll see what happens. Let's see what's going on with some Solana. Where's Solana? Yeah, man. I mean, again, you wouldn't have gotten this either. You don't get your rejection at the 0.236. Yeah, you wouldn't have gotten in on this trade either, man. I mean, a lot of these trades that we're setting up, we wouldn't ever get an entry, right? Because you came up and then you confirmed outside of it. You never got your rejection. Like back here. Okay, so say that trade was back here and you got your rejection. Yeah, you would have gotten it. Boom. Okay, you rejected. Boom. You get your back test and your entry right there. But I mean, this thing just blew through it. You never would have gotten a confirmation candle. Actually, you would have gotten a confirmation candle, but the confirmation candle would have been to the upside, not the downside, right? So as you can see, this confirmation candles 101 right here. So how do you know that you're breaking out of this, right? Well, we tried to break out here. We got a green candle above it, but then got sucked immediately right back in. We broke above it, got a green candle, but then we got sucked right back in, right? We tried to break out here. We never even got a confirmation candle. This would have been a great short in, right? But here's my point. This is why you wouldn't have entered that trade, and why I say like there was no trade there, because you came up above it, right? And then you didn't get your rejection. You didn't get sucked back into it. You actually confirmed above it. There's your confirmation candle right there. What do I mean by confirmation candle? This is your breakout candle. And then this is your confirmation candle because it closed above the close of that breakout candle. Then you immediately reclaim the 200 moving average, right? Boom. Came up, you rejected, front ran the 0.382, came right back down to the 236, reclaim the 200, boom. Now you're pumping, right? We'll see what happens. I mean, this could be the point where, this could turn around for us. Stuff could start pumping. I mean, as you can see, Bitcoin's pumping right now. Bitcoin's going up. It's trying to do its thing. We'll see what happens. So Solana, I mean, honestly, there's one trade here right now. There's technically two trades, but we'll set up the first one, right? Which is the long to the 0.382, right? And you set your stop loss just outside these swing lows. You got 2.3 risk to reward on that. Now, say you come back down under this. Nope. Say you reject here at the 50, you come back down under here, and then you get your confirmation. That's where you would enter a short position as well, right? So this would be where you short if you lose the 200. Obviously, you get a rejection from the 50 and the 100 right here, and that's where you would short, is right here, boom, right at the 0.236. So that's Solana in a nutshell. Does anybody else have anything? Let's see what else. What else did we do TA on the other day? Link. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back.
Find the right words, and there's no way this is real life. There's no telling you're the right girl, so I can only say that it feels right. It feels right. It feels right. Yeah, I can only say that it feels right.
Okay, looking good. Now let's look at Chainlink really quick. I think we looked at it on Coinbase. See what happened. Yeah, again, no trade, man. God. I tried to set these trades up for you like, hey, if we come down here and then you get a rejection here, but you never got your rejection. It sucks. Never got your confirmation below it. Like, I mean, in my opinion, that trade is still valid, right? That trade is still valid. If you come from here and then you come back down here, that's where you would enter on a short position, right? That trade is still valid. But in any case, this trade is also valid, right? The long position. If you come down here and you test this, and then you just It's very simple. You pull a fib, man. Boom. And you target either the 0.382 or the 0.5. Very simple. I mean, that's a 6x risk to reward. Honestly, I would say this is where you're at. This is where you would want to be. And even on this one, I would probably move this short up somewhere right there. Yeah, I mean, there's some long opportunities here, but you got to get some pullbacks at the very least to the 200 moving average, right? Like right here. That's Link in a nutshell. I mean, that's pretty standard stuff. Yeah, it's 2.5 extras to reward on that. Yeah, that's what it comes down to, man. It's like you got to be patient, and sometimes you got to be okay being wrong and losing a couple $100. Like my short here is like down a couple $100. Okay, well, now what we know, with what we know now, if we break outside of these certain levels, I'm no longer want to be in this short, right? And it looks like we're gonna do that, is my opinion right now. I mean, you still got a long ways to go to get to that inverted head and shoulders. You're still inside of the bull flag. You're trying to break out of that falling wedge right now. I mean, if that's the case, this is a really good place to be in, right? I mean, we've got to wait for this candle to close and see what happens, but I mean, you confirmed outside of the bear pennant right here, man. And this could be your retest of that bear pennant. So again, like, you gotta watch out, man. You gotta watch out. Like, this could be where you even double down on your position at 84.8. Boom, blasts down, right? So all of this could be false moves, right? Now you're coming back up to the 0.236. You've wicked through it 2 times. Like, you know, like, look at this. 84.9, man. 84.9. You know, we're 700 or 400 bucks away from that. We'll see what happens here. But in any case, I mean, I think that this is going to be a critical level right here. 84,783. If you can close a candle above 84,784, that's where you're breaking market structure and you no longer have a swing failure pattern, right? Which, you know, could be good news, right? A macro what? A macro what? Is there a macro what on BTC? We talking like uptrend, downtrend, macro charting pattern, like macro market structure? What are we talking about? Let's look at ETH. Yeah, so there's actually a lot of news this week. We just had the retail sales that came through. Retail sales, and there's the FOMC meeting as well. FOMC meeting is coming as well. Oops. Yeah, there we go. Look at ETH, man. ETH's breaking out. Oh, this is scary, dude, because like this is exactly what they want everyone to think is like you're breaking out of these patterns and then you're going to move up here to, you know, $2,500 and then they just rip you right back into it. I mean, this is a scary situation to be in. You've confirmed outside of it. You back tested and retested it. I mean, I gave you that trade a while back. If we break out of it, you enter on the retest. Obviously, we didn't think that the retest was going to be, we thought the retest would be a breakout here and then a retest here, but the breakout was actually over here. Retest was here. Okay, cool. So this would have been where you actually entered your long position, and then you would be targeting the top end of this trend channel, man, right up here. I mean, this is a massive, massive long, right? 1950 all the way up to 2,500. I mean, you got a 5 extras to reward on this thing. It's nasty. They could rip all of this back down, though. Yet again, like I said, man, I mean, it's going to be tough. I'm pretty sure we did H-bar yesterday. I doubt most things have changed. I mean, it's respecting this. It's respecting this level, you know. The one thing you're going to need to take into account is, are you going to take out the 200 moving average, right? That's what's going to be the critical level right there, is this 200 moving average, which is at about 19.5 cents. So you're getting close, right? But you got to take this level out. And once you take it out, obviously it keeps trending down. You back test it and you bounce, right? So, I mean, that's H bar, but let's show you where it could go, right? .236 is at 20.5 cents. 0.382 is at 22 cents. And the 618 is at almost 25 cents, 24.5 cents. I mean, H bar could rip, you know, it could literally go up 30%, right? Maybe more. Yeah. I mean, this is a wait and see scenario, in my opinion. You have to wait and see. You got to get your confirmations, man. This would have been your entry right here, is on the back test. After you confirmed above this, boom, that's your entry, right? I mean, you can do the entry. So if you confirm, you're confirmed above this, right? You're targeting the 0.236 or the 382, what's more likely. Because now you're taking out the moving averages, and probabilities are on your side to say, hey, this is going to go up, right? Especially if Bitcoin continues to do this, right? Go up. So that's kind of my point. And then secondarily, worst case scenario, right? You get a rejection here, you come down here, boom, that's where you short. Okay. So those are kind of the two potential trades that could be happening on H bar. And then you just put your stop loss outside of the 200 moving average. You know, you probably got like a, I don't know, 2.5 extras to reward on this. And then you see what happens at that level. And you could even target there for a 4 extras to reward, almost 4.5x, right? And that's stuff that's like dates way back to the previous bull run. Not the previous bull run, but like our previous parabolic move in this bull run. Yeah, that's H bar in a nutshell as well. So hopefully that's helpful to people. We'll see what happens with Bitcoin here. In any case, you know what your key levels are. You know what you're looking for, right? I mean, at the end of the day, are we going to break out of the falling wedge? Will that matter? Because we retest the bear pennant here and then get a rejection and then move downwards towards the $74,000, $71,000 level. Yet to be seen, man. We will see. I appreciate everybody for showing up. In any case, you know what I'm doing. You know where I'm cool taking a loss here. I'm cool taking a couple $100. Like, I'm not gonna risk it. I'm not gonna risk it for the biscuit here. We are in a, we're kind of like trying to trend upwards. We're doing our best. Is it going to work? We don't know yet. Can I alter this bear flag or bear pennant a little bit? I could. I could probably alter it like this. In any case, if you alter it to that, we haven't even broken out yet, right? We haven't even broken outside of the bear pennant, right? So that's the other thing. Key decision point coming. Key decision point is coming. And in my opinion, it's going to be this 84.8 level. 84 to 85, 84.8 to 85.3. Yeah, man, if you drink Guinness, hey, have at it. I actually don't drink. I don't drink. I know, super boring, but I don't see any reason to do it. It's just, doesn't entice me. Nothing about drinking, I guess, trips my trigger or floats my boat. I'd rather chill out, smoke a cigar with somebody, drink some espresso, and call it a day. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, with that being said, I will see everybody in the next stream. I appreciate everybody for showing up today. Have a good day, and hopefully, we'll see how this plays out. But in any case, watch that $84,800 level all the way up to about 85.3, and then we will see how this all plays out. So with that being said, I will see you in the next stream. Peace.